Welcome back to the 2015 VHSL State Basketball Tournament at the Siegel Center here at VCU in Richmond. I'm now joined by Gary Hess, one of the longtime sports announcers in the state of Virginia, working in the Richmond area. Gary, thank you for stopping by.
Oh, happy to be here. This is always an exciting event.
You've done play-by-play and color analyst work for the state tournament for many years now, and you're working the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 games, so many games here throughout this week. What makes this tournament so unique and enjoyable to cover?
I think what makes it unique is the different dynamics of the games from the different parts of the state. You know, when you see a team from Southwest Virginia and a team from the beach and teams from Northern Virginia, they all have different characteristics. Now, they're not all the same in those regions, but you know what I'm saying. Different types of schools, different demographics, and then the number of games here. And the Siegel Center is a great venue for this tournament, but to see the Monday through Saturday of just wall-to-wall games, it's just awesome.
Before we get into this year's event, let's flash back in all the years you've done this. Any specific moment stick out to you, whether it be a team, a matchup, a player that goes up there in the all-time classics that you were able to call and cover?
I think the one that jumps out to me was maybe 4 years ago. It was the last game of the night, championship 4A boys, Potomac Falls against, I think it was Hidden Valley, and a kid named Pete Semino made a buzzer beater to win the state championship for Potomac Falls. It was an amazing shot, an amazing moment. Place went bonkers. It was unbelievable. The other thing that jumps out at me was a couple years ago when we had two local teams playing for the two Richmond teams playing for the state championship, and this place packed to the gills. It was an amazing atmosphere, almost like a VCU game here.
Now, coming up on Saturday, you'll have some teams from Tidewater, Richmond, and Northern Virginia, as well as other parts of the state participating in state championship games with 4, 5, and 6A. What are you most looking forward to with Championship Saturday? We're here on Championship Wednesday, but what are you most looking forward to on Championship Saturday?
When I look at Championship Saturday, the couple things jump out at me. Number one is on the girls' side, what a shock Princess Anne is in the mix, and Coach Dozier does an amazing job, and to see, what's Coach Dozier going to have this year. That's one of the things that jumps out at me. And the other thing is Henrico. Vance Harmon's done a phenomenal job. He's got a great program. They're used to being here. They've got, a legitimate D1 star in DeMonte Buckingham. So they've got, that's a team I really want to see play, and I have a feeling they're going to be favored to come through to Saturday, and whether or not they can grab that brass ring again.
The 6A boys Final Four is intriguing to me, with you have W.T. Woodson taking on the defending champ Colonial Forge, and then Lansdowne against a Westfield team that quietly only has one loss. You have four of the very best, pretty much ranked 1 through 4 all year long.
Yeah, when you love it when those top 4 teams kind of go according to chalk and get to this level. Those two semifinal games in Division 6 boys are going to be phenomenal, setting up what's going to be a great championship game Saturday night. And I don't even know who to give the edge to.
Absolutely. New format with the restructuring of the VHSL last year, and now a new format with the schedule this year. Any pros and cons really jump out at you with how things are this year?
Well, as a play-by-play man, I like the semifinals being here with the finals, because then if it's a team I don't know about or a team I haven't seen, I can watch them play before calling the game. I like that part. I think it's good for the teams as well. If you have a team that's on this stage for the first time, to play a game in this building gives you a great thing to get out of the way to check off your list before you're playing for the state championship. And so if you have a team that's played in here versus a team that hadn't, that's a big advantage in a championship game. And with that system last year where they were playing at JMU or William and Mary or Northern Virginia or out in Southwest Virginia, they would get here and they'd never been in this building before against a team that maybe had. That'd be a big disadvantage. But I think both teams having a game in this building is going to level the playing field somewhat in that one way for the championship game. I think it makes it good.
And last, we always know there's always 1 or 2 overtime games on Saturday. How many are you picking? 1, 2, 3? How many overtime games will we get?
I think we'll go 2 out of 6. 2 out of 6 go overtime. Why not?
Not too bad. That's Gary Hess, one of the top sports announcers in the state of Virginia. Thank you for stopping by. Give him a follow on Twitter. You won't regret it. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
We're privileged to be joined by Joyce Sisson. She's the Assistant Director for Athletics. And Joyce, thank you for stopping by.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Well, first of all, tell the people about your role with the Virginia High School League and what you all do on a day-to-day basis.
Well, we do many things, actually. Our staff works with different sports and different different state activities like the state basketball tournament. I work with about half of the sports. We have another administrator who works with the other half. We deal with activities and we administer the events at the state level. We also help schools with interpretations on our handbook and the rules that they themselves have put together. So that's sort of on a day-to-day basis. It changes from day to day, it changes from minute to minute sometimes. You go in thinking you're going to do something on basketball and somebody calls you with a soccer uniform question. So that's sort of how it goes.
As people know, the Virginia High School League Basketball State Tournament is one of the most anticipated events on the calendar every year. What do you enjoy most about this event?
I think just seeing the kids when they come into the Siegel Center and their eyes open wide and their mouths open and they're just sort of, it's the coolest place that they've ever played basketball. All the people from the hometowns that come and support their kids. It's about the kids, and I think it's a great time for them and just a great experience.
Absolutely. Now, a new realignment went into effect in 2014-15 for the Virginia High School League. This is the second year of a 2-year cycle that will change next year. Tell the folks what the purpose was behind it.
Well, the purpose behind the realignment was to equalize school size and school competitiveness at tournament time. It was the idea was that during the regular season you would play local teams, you would play within your own geographic area, but once tournament time started, you would play schools that were only your size or thereabouts. And with a hard number established for Group 1A, which was 475, and then the other 5 classes in equal division of the remainder of the schools. So it was done for competitive purposes, and I think from that standpoint it's worked very well.
What's been the feedback from the coaches, student athletes, parents, fans, and media? Good, bad, a little bit of both?
A little bit of both. It depends on where you are, I think. A lot of the teams that are here that have never been here before and know that they probably never would have gotten here had it not been for the new alignment system. You can't tell them that there's anything bad about the alignment. It's created some increased travel. Some schools aren't necessarily playing that local schedule like we wanted them to for their regular season games, so they're traveling more to their conference schools, and that's creating a little bit more travel and a little bit of dissension about that. But for the most part, I think the reaction has been good.
Tell us about some potential changes that could be coming for Virginia High School League athletics in the years to come.
Well, it's hard to know. I mean, we're very much school-driven. Our voting membership are the principals of the 313 schools, and so basically change comes from the grassroots up. I think we're adding some sports. Lacrosse is a very rapidly growing sport that's coming along. Field hockey is another one where we're looking at adding some schools that are going to support that sport. And we'll reevaluate this and see whether this is a good format, whether the alignment works, or if there's a way that we can tweak that and make that better.
And lastly, Joyce, we thank you so much for your time. Tell the folks what's on tap for the VHSL and how they can find out information on your website and anywhere else.
They can go to our website, which is www.vhsl.org. It's pretty easy to navigate. There's a button for community and outreach kinds of things where they can go to that page. Anything they want to know about a sport is on that sports page, and that's really primarily the way we communicate with the public in general. We communicate with our schools a little bit differently in that we put out sort of a weekly update to let them know what's going on and what's happening. But for a fan, they can come onto the website, they can look at brackets, they can look at whatever they want to see.
Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
That is Joyce, Assistant Director of Athletics for the Virginia High School League. More to come here. You're watching our coverage on the Cox Sports Report of the 2015 VHSL State Basketball Tournament right here, again, on Sports Report.